Hi, everybody. I definitely like to welcome you out tonight. I know you had a busy schedule for those of you thinking about the football game preseason. No real players are playing tonight anyway, though, so we don't have to worry about that one. But definitely want you to enjoy what we have to talk about tonight. Now, it's not too often that I even get on here and talk about anything, but this particular technology just blew me away when I was first introduced to it by Rasul Ahmed, good friend of mine. And the more I delved deeply into it, I saw that this was something that was actually changing people's lives. And for that reason, I thought I would get involved with it. Now, I'm talking about stem cell technology. And what you will hear tonight, it sounds unreal in many instances, because I know when I first heard it, I said, okay, this sounds pretty good, but it sounds like they paid some actors to do this thing. That wasn't the case at all. This is real. And I found out how real once it affected members of my family in a positive way. So in order to get into the stem cell technology, I have an expert who will go into detail, tell you about the program, tell you how it's helping people every day and how it can change your life both physically and monetarily as well. She and her husband started this journey with stem cell technology just a few months ago. And because of their passion, their focus, and their commitment, they've already helped thousands of people. And in fact, when you talk about home-based businesses, they're in the seven figures. So when they get involved with the project, you can believe that is something worthwhile. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you to the Presidential Director of LifeWave International, Verdita Monk. Verdita?
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you so much, William, for that awesome introduction. And it is just such an honor for me to be here because I know you are such an accomplished man, and I'm sure all of your friends know that. But just for you to invite me to share with them is once again such an honor. And I hope we can deliver and meet your expectations because I know you're a superstar in the broadcast industry. So thanks again for partnering with us on this project, William, and we're gonna do some big things with that. So thank you so much. You can stop your video now and mute, and we'll get started. But let me tell everybody how I got started with this project and why my husband and I are so excited. A few months ago, a friend of ours tracked us down to to just tell us. I mean, he wanted to just give us literally some little patches about the size of a quarter. And we didn't, of course, we didn't understand what the significance was because he just said, I got to reach you. I got to catch up with you. So we did that, but we were literally about to go out of town the next morning. And so it was a little bit of an inconvenience, but we really wanted to see what it was he was talking about. So what happened is he invited us to a call just like you're on. And on that call, we heard some dynamic testimonies that blew us away, just like William just talked about. And it was kind of unbelievable, but we still wanted to make sure that we didn't miss out on the benefits as well. So when we got to Milwaukee, my mother-in-law, who was 92 years old, was rubbing her knee profusely. And I recall then that the last time we was there for about a year before, she was rubbing that same knee. And I mean, that she's not the kind of person that is always in pain or complaining or anything like this. So it really caught my attention. So we said, well, you know, that patch that Ken gave us seemed to help a lot of people. Let's see what happens if we put the patch on her. So we put the patch on her and she went to bed. It was nighttime. The next morning she woke up and she says, the pain is gone. She says, I normally have to get up 3 or 4 times a night because I have to put rubbing ointments on. I have to take pain medicine. I can't sleep all night, but I slept all night. And it just, oh, this might work. But here's what really got me. We went to sleep and I noticed that the room was quiet. And the reason the room was quiet was because my husband did not snore. Now, you may not think anything of that, but my husband was a chronic snorer to the extent that he would be choking and coughing. And I mean, every night for 10 years, I couldn't take it. And I just never dawned on me. I said, why don't I just send him upstairs and sleep? So I started sending him up. I said, you got to go upstairs because I got to get some sleep. And I mean, I felt bad, but it's the truth. This is the truth. So when he stopped snoring on November the 11th of last year and has not snored since, doesn't that seem kind of interesting to you? I mean, but you're going to hear some more spectacular stories tonight. And so let's get right on into it. so that you can hear what we're here, find out what we're so excited about. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, so now the big question of the evening is, have you been patched yet? Well, if you have not been patched, because some of you on this call probably have been, you're going to be excited when you get patched, because when you get patched, your body is going to be elevated. The stem cells in your body are going to be activated and regenerated. You're going to feel like a brand new person. But as you can see on the screen, the lady right at her arm, this tiny little patch is what we're talking about, okay? Now, why are we talking about stem cells? Well, for those of you who may be familiar with stem cell injections, you would know that many people turn to that alternative because they have no other options. They're just in so much pain. Or I even know someone whose son was autistic, and they literally saved money, went out of the country for whatever reason. I don't know why they had to go out of the country, but they went out of the country and got injections, which helped a little bit. But then I forget how many years later, they still had to go back. The son is only 9 years old, and get another injection. That's very expensive. That's anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to $20,000. Some people have even spent up to $100,000 on stem cell injections. So therefore they're expensive. Number two, there is no guarantee that they're going to work. It may be 30% chance or 50% chance that the stem cell injection would do what you intend for it to do or want it to do. So everybody cannot afford that. I've even heard of situations where something major went wrong. Okay, but not trying to scare you, but I'm just letting you know that that's what people are doing. But they don't have to do. And why do they do that? Because once again, I told you they have no other option. But many people are one of the things that people don't know is this: when we get older, our body begins to heal a lot slower. So a lot of the diseases like dementia, arthritis, all kinds of things like that, all of a sudden, those things start, invading our body. And we say, what's going on? So by the time we get to be age 30, half of our stem cell activity is gone. And by the time we're 60, almost all of it. And that's why the older people, you see them walking around with canes and wheelchairs, because they have no stem cell activity. So this is why the patch that we're talking about is the alternative to injections. Okay, now how does it work? You literally take this little band-aid looking thing, and you take the paper off the back, you put it anywhere on your body. And what happens when you do that, the nanocrystals that are in the very center of this little patch reflect off of the light of your body. What happens is the copper peptides in your body are then activated. That's a phenomenon as well. The copper peptide in particular is called GHK copper peptide. That's the one that we're referring to. And it has been proven that if copper peptides in your body are elevated, then that in turn reactivates your stem cell. Well, the problem was for years was that, although that's what they say would happen, was that there was no scientist, nobody that could do this. Nobody could come up with a solution that your own stem cells are reactivated. That is the key. See, when you're getting injections, that's somebody else's stem cells, or they may take something from some other part of your body, but you still had to get it injected. We're not talking about anything that's going into your body. This is non-transdermal. It won't interfere with your medication or anything. And so this is why so many physicians are in this company called LifeWave that we're part of, because they can't believe it, but it's such a phenomenon. So because of that, for this phenomenal product, this company grew from $20 million a year all the way to $280 million in the last 2 years. It's a 19-year-old company, but it's spread all over the world. Look at this growth chart. Starting with 2021, it just shot straight up. So that tells you something about how phenomenal this technology is. Now, here's the person that's responsible for the invention of this patch, Mr. David Schmidt. We consider him a genius. Let me tell you why. First of all, he was commissioned by the federal government to assist in a project for the Navy SEALs when the Department of Defense had created this, developed this new, built this new submarine. And they wanted the Navy SEALs to be active and energized for over 36 hours at a time. That was the challenge that they gave David Schmidt, and it took him 3 years to develop that technology. And so after that, he just continued developing patches, and now he has over 130 patents. Now, he is the 2-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award for the International Hall of Fame, and this technology is patented for the next 17 years. No other company can market this except LifeWave. That means opportunity for those of you who may have a business hat, a big, high business acumen, rather. That's what the opportunity is for us to be exclusive as far as the marketer for this technology. Now, so in other words, LifeWave doesn't talk about Me Too products, such as weight loss, where you can go to Walgreens or even Amazon or somewhere and get weight loss products, or something for your skin specifically. You can get those at the mall, even at the grocery store, but you cannot get X39. No other company can go out there and say, I'm going to market this product. Okay, so that's exclusivity. How do you wear the patch? I already told you earlier, you can put it anywhere, but in this diagram, it shows that it could be applied behind the neck and below the belly button. We had over 80 case studies. And they have to be consistent because you got to prove that this works. So the people in the case study were asked to wear the patch behind their neck or below the belly button. You wear it 12 hours on, 12 hours off. A good way to remember your pattern is to, like I do, what I do is I put that patch on right when I brush my teeth at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then I take it off at 8 o'clock at night. So I don't get confused as to when I need to take it off. So you throw it away, and then you put on a new patch the next morning at 8 o'clock. So you can wear this patch, anywhere on your body. Drink plenty of water. Okay, drink plenty of water because your body needs to be dehydrated. Needs to be hydrated because you're going to start detoxing. All those toxins that are in our body are going to start coming out. So the more water you drink, the more effective experience you're going to have. Now, what's going to happen? Or what may happen when you start wearing these patches, some of the things that you see on the screen. I told you about my mother-in-law with the rapid pain relief, reduced inflammation, because inflammation is the culprit of many of the illnesses that we incur, supports wound healing, energy and vitality and mental clarity. Those two right there, I don't know what I would do without this patch, because before I started wearing this patch, I have so much work to do because I'm an interior designer on all these different projects. It was hard sometimes for me to compartmentalize what I needed to do. I didn't think I was going to make it through the day, but now I'm very calm because I already know I'm going to get it done because of the energy, the vitality, and the mental clarity. That is huge for me. Enhances sports performance. That's why we have so many professional athletes, literally, that we're personally working with that are using these patches. Faster recovery from exercise and improved skin appearance. We'll go back one screen. What you're looking at right here is a map, a topography map. And there was one of the case studies where they took a 77-year-old woman, put the patch behind the back of her neck, and they looked at her brain. Now, her brain in this orange area represents inflammation in her brain. But that was the first immediate week. But 3 weeks later, all of the inflammation is gone, but the light area reflects the activity of the stem cell activity. And then by 3 weeks later in session 3, look how much more stem cell activity she's experiencing. That's what's happening to our brains when we wear the patch. So look at some of the results that I'm referring to. These are long-term results that resulted, actual results from 80K studies. The first few days, our genes begin to reset, 4,000 begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, talking about the brain now, the brain becomes balanced. People that have PTSD, those symptoms started decreasing. Anxiety and depression started going away. Within 3 months, their collagen began to increase. So the wrinkles started going away, hair started coming back, growing. People that were bald, their hair started coming back. People who were gray, their hair started turning black. It increased the structural integrity of your skeletal system. So, as we get older, the bones become denser, right? So it's very important that the structural integrity of our skeletal system is enhanced, okay? Within 6 months, their heart reverses in age. And here we go. In a recent study, 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years just after 6 months of wearing the patch. Now, let me add a little bit to this. In addition to our heart reversing in age, the stem cells around our heart, all of our organs have stem cells. So our stem cells in our heart begin to be reactivated. You're going to hear in a few moments from someone that is going to bring to reality what this is talking about, okay? I'm going to show you what we mean when we say the heart reverses in age. So once again, everything that I'm talking about right now, it's available on this website called startx39.com, because there's a plethora of information. There's doctors' reviews, there's 80 case studies, all kinds of videos, everything you need to know. Even physicians who are joining our team actually go to this website as a reference. So this is where you need to find everything you need to know. I told you about, the wound healing. So look at this lady's face. Look how this scar was in 21 days. Her face is almost smooth. This lady started getting rid of all her wrinkles and everything. And within a year, she looked so much younger. This gentleman here, his hair started growing back. He was almost bald, and look how thick it began to be. So this is my favorite part of our little seminar tonight, because I told you that I had a gentleman, a few people on the call that I wanted to share their testimony. I'm going to start with William, since he's our host tonight. And this is probably why he got so excited about the patch. So William, you want to come back on and share your testimony?
Oh, definitely. Now, this was deep for me because I got involved. I wanted to look at it and do some research so for about 2 weeks, I went hard just listening to testimonies, reading up on it, just finding out what it was about. But even before that, my wife and I started using it. And here's the kicker for you, those of you who know Tracy, right? So Tracy had been suffering with hip pain on both hips. During the night, she would, have to switch side to side, things of that nature. It was just a bad situation. But she put on the patch, and the next day she woke up and said, you know what? I slept great. My hips don't hurt. Everything feels fine. I'm in good shape. I said, are you serious? She said, yeah. I said, okay. So I've heard all of this testimony, but it's a different thing when the person lying next to you, your life partner, is saying this is what happened. Then she went to the dentist, and this is a true story. She went to have some work done. She started developing a toothache, or her mouth started hurting. She put Ice Wave, another patch on, put it on there just to see what happens. Within 30 seconds to a minute, that pain was gone. So I said, you can't be making this stuff up. This was real. And then just the other day, she called me in the office when she was working. She said, look, my nails are growing. They haven't grown like that in years. And that's real stuff. But the biggest deal was my uncle and aunt, both in their 90s, precious to me. These are my folks, right? And love them to death. I saw them in Birmingham last week, and I introduced them to the patch, and I said, well, look at it. And I told their daughter, Colette, I don't know if she's on this call, but I said, Colette, look at this. We talked about it for hours. Go back, do your own little research, and I'll give you some patches to take back. Well, she took them back because her mother had eye surgery a few years ago. The doctor didn't do a very professional job, to say the least, so she lost sight in that eye. So when I was first introduced to this, I said, I really want to see if this will work for my auntie, because all other aspects of her life are great. She can kick her leg up higher than a 24-year-old. We kind of laugh about that a lot, but she was losing her sight. So she put the patch on, and the next day she got up, and my cousin said, she said, I don't know about my eye, but I can tell you my neck and my shoulders feel a whole lot better right now. And that was a result of using the patches. She also said that the stinging in her feet, in her foot in particular, had gone. And so these are some of the some of the side benefits, because we got her started with this to try to help with the eyesight. But en route to doing that, the stem cells saw other areas that needed some attention, and they went there and corrected that. So that was huge. So my uncle, being the character that he is in his mid-90s, so he said, you know what, give me one of those patches. So he got a patch the next day. And here's the deal. My cousin sent me an email or a text. She said, you won't believe this. My father, he'd been hunching over because his back was hurting. She said the next day he was upright, walking straight. So much so he got out in the yard and pulled some weeds, and he hadn't done that in who knows when. So once that happened, and that happened with real folks, my folks, who I love dearly, that, that really got me going. I said, you know what, I'm gonna share this. I called my fraternity brothers, good friends, colleagues, and everybody, and say, hey, all I'm asking is that you come on here, listen to the testimony, do a little bit of research, and see what you think about it. So that's my testimony. And I tell you what, definitely a believer, but when you see it up close and personal, it makes it even more special.
Wow, that is just incredible, William. And just like you said, and when it happens to you, that's when you believe it. But we hope that these testimonies will inspire everybody on the call. So they, because like for me, yes, I got a really good night's sleep. I got, a lot of energy. That's not something that's like life-saving or life-changing. But when you have your spouse who's been snoring like a bear for 10 years, that's life-changing. So I didn't rely on what had happened to me. And that's why we are encouraging the people on the call to listen to what is happening to other people, because there may be somebody's life that you literally saved. And once again, hang on, because we got somebody who I feel like this really saved their life. So, but the next person I want to bring on is my dear friend, Robin Clark. Robin Clark, can you unmute yourself and share your testimony? Okay, let's see. And can you unmute, Robin? Not sure what happened. Can you unshow your video, Robin?
Okay, give me a second.
Okay.
And you see
I can see your ceiling. Okay, I can see you now. Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry, but I was for some reason as a co-host, I couldn't get. Okay. All right.
But it's still echoing. It's still echoing when you turn the phone off or something.
Okay, 1 second. Totally off. Thank you guys for being patient. I just want to start off by saying that everyone on this call right now, we have at least one thing in common, and that is that we are all aging. Okay, we are all aging. That's a fact. And so I've always envisioned myself as living a very long and healthy life. But lately, in the last 5 years or so, I've noticed the signs of aging. I mean, ravishing. I was suffering with insomnia, and it had really gotten bad. And my friend Verdita, who introduced me to the life-changing X39 patch, she didn't even know about my insomnia, but it really gotten bad. I was also diagnosed with arthritis pain in my hands. And so that was a big concern. I mean, my fingers, my joints. And also I've been dealing with high blood pressure over the last 20 years. My father passed away because of blood pressure complications. So I didn't take it lightly. And so when I was diagnosed with that in my 40s, I decided I needed to take the medication so that I could live longer, right? So needless to say, those 3 things that were really prominent for me were addressed right away from using the patch. I'd say within the first week, I noticed my sleep was a lot better. The quality of my sleep, the duration of my sleep, it was amazing. Therefore, I had more energy, which I needed to have because I have a 2-year-old granddaughter I'm chasing around. Also, my joint pain, no more joint pain, just because of this little patch, no more joint pain. My high blood pressure, it was a month after I had been on the patch, and I went in to see my doctor, and she said, "What are you doing differently?" And she said, "Your blood pressure is so normal." I was typically high 140s over 80s, and now I'm 120 over low 70s. And so that for me was major. So I've patched everybody in my entire family. My husband, his energy's increased. He's also lowered his blood pressure. My mom, who will be 85 in November, she had her hair, the roots of her hair, instead of gray, they're coming back black. Okay, her brain fog has dissipated. Again, her energy level is amazing, and she's found purpose in even talking to others about this opportunity and talking to others about how this patch has helped her. So we even patched our dog. My daughter had fibromyalgia. She no longer has fibromyalgia. It was gone immediately, like within a week. So all I can say is we don't know what's happening a lot of times at a cellular level with the stem cell activation patch. You may see some signs of improvement in your life right away, but sometimes it's happening on the inside with your heart, your lungs, your liver. And for me, it was my blood pressure. If I had not gone back to the doctor's office, I probably wouldn't have known that was taking a turn for the better until I checked it. So all I know is we're on to something right here. This age reversing, I feel myself, my inner youth being reactivated. And so we're excited about sharing it with people that we care about. And so that's why you were invited to the call today. So thank you so much for allowing me to share, Verdita, and thank you for calling me.
All right, thank you, Robin. So we got one more testimony, you all. And this one right here is near and dear to my heart because, I mean, every time I hear this person's testimony, it gives me the chills, but I had to invite him to the call because I really wanted you all to see how it is impacting someone's life in a big, big way. Mr. Jeffrey Payton, would you please unmute yourself and share your screen?
Hey, Verdita.
Hey, you're a professional at this, aren't you, Jeff?
I'm getting really
Everybody
good
wants
at
to
it
hear
now.
your testimony.
Well, I'm honored to share it. And I want to just compliment you. You're doing a fantastic presentation. And I just appreciate your heart for this business and for the ability to be able to help so many people. So thank you for that. And I'm honored to be able to share tonight. And I'll go right into it. I have
Sorry, Jeffrey, sorry. Some kind of way, I accidentally muted you because someone was unmuted and I was trying to mute someone else.
no worries.
So could you unmute
Yeah.
yourself and start again? Thank you.
No worries, no worries. 10 years ago, a little over 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I was prescribed 4 insulin injections per day, plus 1 at night at bedtime. That was breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then bedtime, I was prescribed to take 2 injection shots. Now, at the time of my diagnosis, my glucose levels had spiked 300 and above. And, I had trouble keeping my glucose under control. Now, as you know, diabetes is a very dangerous and deadly disease. And it affected my body over time, causing me to have a stroke. I had a stroke three years ago, and it caused me to have a complete left side paralysis. So I was completely paralyzed. I had to learn how to walk, how to talk, how to chew food without chewing the inside of my mouth up. I had to learn how to speak, how to swallow, all of the things that we take for granted. I had to learn how to do all over again. So it also affected my heart. And I have now what's called congestive heart failure. At the time of the stroke, my injection fracture had dropped to 15%. Now, your injection fracture simply means that the rate in which your heart is functioning, and it was only functioning at 15%. So I was really dead. It was I was on life support, all that kind of stuff. And the doctors wouldn't let me go home without a pacemaker. So I had the pacemaker implanted, and then I also had a defibrillator as well. Now, the doctors promised me that I would get better, so I told them I would do everything they told me to do. So they said that your heart rate will increase to 45%. Now, even at 45%, that's still not enough for an active person like myself. I'm a physical person. I play ball. I used to play ball, and I enjoy doing physical things. I was a hairdresser for 40 years. And not only that, but I did furniture upholstery. So those were some of the things that I like to do. And those were very physical things. Now, during that time frame of the stroke, the doctor had me visiting, my cardiologist had me visiting his office every 6 weeks for an EKG. And I would go in for this EKG, and each time I would go, it was the same thing that, you're doing well, Mr. Payton. Your injection factor is 45%. Take your meds, we'll see you in 6 weeks. Now, this was a routine that lasted for about a year, and it sent me into a state of depression. And, and at the time, I just felt like since I couldn't get any better, then, what was the sense of me hanging around? But I've got a family that I love, and those were all the reasons that I needed to be here. So my good friend Reggie Stewart, 2022, Thanksgiving week, came by with some patches, and he said, Jeff, I realize what you've been struggling with your health. Try these patches. He showed me how to wear them, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. And it was funny because an hour before he got here with the patches, I checked my glucose, and I was at spike at 302. Now, I usually, didn't think about it because I'm used to being dopey and having that, that spike feeling. So after that, I was used to being, feeling dopey and stuff. So, I didn't pay it any attention. So I put the patch on. We sat down and chopped it up a little bit. And then about an hour later, it was about time for me to check my glucose again. And I wear a continuous glucose monitor. So I checked it, and my range had dropped. The spike had come down to 170. Okay, now my range is low 75, high 250. Now, for me, that was good, but I didn't really pay it any attention. I didn't contribute it to the patch. So Reggie told me to wear them 3 days, and how to wear them. In the meantime, we were invited to a Thanksgiving feast, a party by our good friends Alfonso and Tina Fair. Food everywhere, and food and diabetes are not friends. So I took it for granted that, all these festivities were for me. So in the meantime, what my protocol is to check my glucose before I eat, which I did not. And it was to take my insulin before I eat, which I did not. So I ate everything, and then I slapped myself in the forehead and realized that I hadn't checked my numbers. So I looked down at my glucose phone, and I was shocked because my numbers were at 122. That's well within range of normalcy. So I got excited, and I thought about it for a moment. I was like, wow, this is amazing. It's got to be this patch. So that was my first eureka moment. The second eureka moment was when we flashed back to my injection fracture of only plateauing at 45%. 6 weeks following that Thanksgiving event, I had to visit my cardiologist once again. Now, I'm used to him, doing the EKG, and they go out of the examining room, and I'm waiting for them to return. And usually it's the nurse that comes in. This time, it was the cardiologist himself. And he came in with the paperwork in his hand, the results from the EKG, and said, Jeff, I got great news for you. And I said, well, what is it? He says to me, well, your injection fracture has increased or improved to 60%. And I said, wait a minute, what does that mean? So he told me, he said, in essence, your heart is now functioning 100% on its own without the assistance of the pacemaker or the defibrillator. I was literally blown away. I could have danced a gig that day. But the moreover, and what was more exciting was that I didn't have to see him in 6 weeks. I didn't have to see him in 6 months. I don't have to see him again until February 2024. I'm so excited about got this practice done. And when you, let me just remind you of what Verdita just suggested. 14 out of 15 people, after wearing the patch for only 6 months, had their heart reversed in age by 8 years. Now, it was just 6 weeks for me to experience a little touch of that. I can't wait to go back and have my injection factor measured in February of 2024. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
Wow, 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 Jeffrey. I'm telling you, every single time you give me that testimony, it gives me the chills. And I know you wake up every morning, you say, I can't believe that all this is happening to you. And I'm just hoping that we touch somebody on this call. I want you all to think of, who do you know that has a heart condition? Who do you know that's diabetic? This is no joke what is going on in people's lives. So this is what, I mean, it's just changed Jeffrey's lives. Of his life. And I thank you so much, Jeffrey, for your willingness to always share it with other people.
It's my pleasure, Verdita, and I've got more. I was telling you I was at the pharmacy today, but I'll share it with you at a later date.
All right. Well, thank you so much. So thank you. You can stop your video. Well, everyone, I know that you are just saying, look, what can I do? I need some of those patches right now. So I'm glad you asked that question, because we're going to show you how to get them. Now you're looking at a form in front of you that just kind of displays what you can, what your options are. If you said, well, you know what, I want to get some of those patches, I just want to try them out for 30 days for myself. Well, there's a couple of ways you can get those patches. You can go to William's site or anybody else on this site. William happens to be the host of this particular call, but whoever invited you to this call, I could have invited you to this call. Go to that person's site, they'll send you a link, and you can either be a customer and pay $150 plus tax and shipping to get one sleeve, or you can get distributor pricing. Like I know when I first saw this, of course, I told you I'm an interior designer. I don't pay retail for anything. So if I can get it at wholesale, I'm going to do that. So that was my choice. If you wanted to do that, you can be a bronze, meaning one sleeve. You're going to pay $125. So it's going to save you $25 plus shipping, because with that package, they do charge you a $25 starter kit. But then if you said later, you know what, I want to get some more of those patches, you can literally, you're going to get a free website, by the way. You literally go to your website, upgrade to the silver, and get 2 more sleeves and just pay the difference of $175, because this is $300, but you'd already paid the $125, but now you're going to get $200 more dollars worth of inventory for $175. Or you can just start out from the beginning with the silver. You can just do that straight up. That's what, you know, most of us do, just get what we want to last at least 90 days. Because see, you got to get this in your system. Everybody's not what you call a one patch wonder. You know, if you're married, just like William, he said that, you know, his wife's hips stopped hurting, and some other things, you know, happened. And he didn't want her to be feeling good, and he's not feeling good. So they needed at least a silver so they can have something to share with that aunt, with that uncle that you heard that was standing up straight, and that aunt who was, you know, the no pain in her. So he would not have had those patches, those extra sample patches, had he not gotten a bigger package. Okay. Now, again, you're only paying $99. Can you believe that? I mean, where can you go to get these types of benefits and pay only $100 a month? Okay. So the gold, let me just tell you about the gold package. You get 5 sleeves, and then you get an extra half a sleeve free. And then we also have what we call a platinum package, $1,000, but that's where you start getting free sleeves. You get 2 30-day supplies for free, or you're paying $84 a month. I mean, $84 per sleeve. And then the diamond pack is $1,600. All the information that you need to get your website set up, such as your name, address, email, and stuff like that. And then your debit card information is going to be required on that form. But I want to show you one more thing about these packages. And here's a visual of what I want to, you know, what we're saying about it. If you do decide to get the diamond or the platinum package, remember I told you you're getting free sleeves, because you're getting $1,200 worth of inventory with the platinum, and it's only going to cost you $1,000. you're getting 19 sleeves, $1,900 worth of inventory for the diamond, but you're only spending $1,600. Well, Verdita, why would I want to get a package that big? Well, I told you earlier, I know that I personally have all kinds of chiropractors and doctors and people that have health food stores, stuff like that want to get a bigger package because they're getting rid of these sleeves so fast. All right. And also there's other benefits with the diamond package, such as if, say, for example, you shared this with someone and they decided they want to get a diamond package, instead of the company paying you $200 when they get that package, the company's going to pay you $500. So it's beneficial for you to have the diamond package because you actually get paid more money on these two packages when you refer this to people. I guarantee you, you're gonna get off this phone and call your aunt and who has diabetes and diabetes in a very bad way, and and this call is recorded, so you're gonna get a copy of this call if you prefer, if you desire, and you're gonna say, Aunt Mary, I found a way to stop taking all those insulin shots. So that's what's going to happen. And many of us don't even intend to do that, but we do. And that way the company actually compensates you when these people buy these packages. So when someone buys one of these packages, the company, just for referring it to those people, pay bonuses. Now, something is missing. I will say this. Something is missing on my slide. I don't know. Okay. Let me ask you, I apologize. There is a slide missing some kind of way in my presentation, but I will say this. I want you to put your business hat on now, because as I said, you're probably going to think about people, and when the company is compensating us very well, you guys. So we want to let you know that if this was something that you wanted to think about partnering with us and being an ambassador to spread the word, that's your option. Or you may just be the kind of person just want to get some of these patches. But this industry is exploding. It's literally at about 200 million right now. But I heard the other night, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it's going to explode to 300 billion. And I heard it was going to explode. This is going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years. So that lets you know timing is very important. Our company, LifeWeight, is on the forefront of this explosion because no other company has what we have. And so timing and positioning is very, very important. When you decide you want to, with William, for example, if William, gets you one of those packages and you say, I want to, earn some money as well, or I just want to be compensated as I do refer to other people. If you partner with Will, you may fall on his left side, or you may fall on his left side, because William is building two teams, a left team and a right team. If you happen to be one of the first people that partner with William, you're going to benefit from everything that William does, everything that he does on his left team or his right team, and vice versa. And you will actually have the opportunity to earn up to $25,000 per week in this compensation, this part of the compensation plan alone. We know people right now who are earning way more than that. And I mean, these people have started with this company not even a year ago and earning over $25,000 per week. So it may not seem that the money is there because these patches are so reasonably priced, but trust me, the company is very generous with compensating us. And so in addition to that, my most favorite part of this compensation plan is this. As people earn money in the binary compensation that I just told you about, the company will actually pay you 25% of what they earn per week. So for example, if William, if you told William about this, and William goes out, because William is sharp, okay? He's a sharp individual. William goes out and earns $2,000 this week in the binary. You get 25% of that, that's $500. But suppose you refer this to 15 people, you're going to get 25% of all 15 of those people. And if those people go, let's say you did enroll 15 people and they went and told 5 people a piece. What's 15 times 5? There's 75 more people. Let's say each one of those 75 people made $1,000 in the binary. You're going to get $200 for each one of those 75 people. Okay, 200 times 75, that's a lot of money. It just keeps it expanding. The company matches these bonuses for 3 levels deep, and you get to, they don't take the money away from William or whoever invited you. This is on top of the money that they're making. And so I don't know about you, but my husband and I are retirement age, and being self-employed, there's not a lot of options that are going to give us the type of income we want and need, because we're very active people. I'm not ready to sit down and not be able to travel and do the things I want to do, but I'm ready to kind of like, live a certain type of lifestyle and enjoy life. So to me, residual income, that means the money's coming over and over and over every month after month after month. That's the way you want to live, and that's the way you should live. Okay, so we do have some tools to help you pass these samples out to people that you care about, and you can get more information about that on a website called 331.com. Build331.com is the site that we go to learn more about the compensation plan, because I just kind of gave you an overview tonight. I also just, tools that we can use all on that site. But with that being the case, the last thing I want to say to you is, if you're so inspired to really take this, do this in a big way, we're heading to Tampa, Florida, August the 18th and 19th. That gentleman I told you about, Mr. David Schmidt, he will be there. He's the keynote speaker. He is the founder and CEO of the company, and he's going to make some announcements that are going to blow your socks off. You're going to get a chance to learn a lot more about what we're doing here. All of us are gearing up to go. Tickets are $150. That includes a meal and a lunch and dinner on that Saturday. So there's a site called thisisitconvention.com. We don't want to leave anybody out. People are joining and partnering with us today and signing up for this convention right away. So with that being the case, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. Let me come out of this. Stop. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Get back with William or Renee or anybody else who may have invited you to this call, and they can show you how to get started and what to do next. So we thank you for your time. Thank all of the people who gave their testimonies. You all have a beautiful evening, and we will see you at the top. Good evening.